Electronic waste has become one of the fastest-growing environmental challenges facing communities around the world. Every year, millions of outdated computers, smartphones, televisions, batteries, and other electronic devices are replaced by newer technology. While innovation continues to improve our lives, it also creates a growing volume of discarded electronics that must be managed responsibly. In this presentation, we'll explore how neighborhoods, schools, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and local governments can collaborate to reduce e-waste, conserve valuable resources, and create healthier, more sustainable communities for future generations. Electronic waste affects every community, regardless of its size or location. As technology evolves, consumers replace electronic devices more frequently than ever before. Smartphones are upgraded every few years, computers become outdated, televisions are replaced with newer models, and countless other electronic products eventually reach the end of their useful lives. Unfortunately, many of these devices don't immediately enter responsible recycling programs. Instead, they often remain stored in closets, garages, or basements. Or worse, they end up in household trash where they may eventually reach landfills. Because local communities generate much of this electronic waste, they also have tremendous power to reduce it. Neighborhood organizations, schools, municipalities, local businesses, and residents can all work together to create convenient recycling opportunities, improve public education, and encourage responsible disposal practices. When an entire community participates, small individual actions combine to create meaningful environmental improvements that benefit everyone. Improper disposal of electronic waste creates both environmental and public health concerns. Many electronic devices contain hazardous substances such as lead, mercury, cadmium, and other heavy metals. When electronics are dumped into landfills or improperly dismantled, these hazardous materials can gradually contaminate surrounding soil, groundwater, rivers, and local ecosystems. Wildlife, plants, and nearby communities may all be affected by long-term environmental contamination. At the same time, discarded electronics also contain valuable materials including gold, silver, copper, aluminum, palladium, and rare earth elements. When electronics are simply thrown away, these valuable resources are permanently lost instead of being recovered and reused in future manufacturing. Responsible recycling protects the environment by safely managing hazardous materials while recovering valuable resources that reduce the need for additional mining and raw material extraction. Every properly recycled device helps reduce pollution while conserving natural resources for future generations. One of the simplest and most effective ways communities can improve electronics recycling is by organizing dedicated collection events. Collection events provide convenient locations where residents can safely dispose of unwanted computers, televisions, smartphones, printers, batteries, networking equipment, and other electronics. Convenience plays a major role in increasing participation. When responsible recycling options are easy to access, more people choose proper disposal rather than storing unwanted electronics or throwing them away. Successful collection events often involve partnerships between local governments, schools, businesses, environmental organizations, and community volunteers. These organizations help promote the events through newsletters, social media, community websites, local newspapers, and neighborhood outreach programs. Hosting recurring collection events throughout the year encourages ongoing participation and gradually builds long-term recycling habits throughout the community. Collection events are only effective when collected electronics are processed responsibly. Communities should establish partnerships with organizations that specialize in environmentally responsible electronics recycling. Working with licensed recyclers helps ensure electronic devices are dismantled safely, hazardous materials are properly managed, and valuable resources are recovered according to recognized environmental practices. Professional recycling facilities separate plastics, metals, glass, circuit boards, batteries, and other components for proper processing. Recovered materials can then be reused to manufacture new electronic products, reducing the need for mining additional raw materials while conserving energy and natural resources. These partnerships also increase public confidence because residents know their discarded electronics are being handled safely rather than contributing to environmental pollution. Responsible recycling programs create an essential foundation for successful community sustainability efforts. Education remains one of the most powerful tools available for reducing electronic waste. Many people simply don't realize that electronics require specialized recycling or understand the environmental consequences of improper disposal. Communities can improve awareness by organizing educational workshops, distributing informational brochures, publishing online resources, and using social media to share practical recycling guidance. Schools play an especially important role because environmental awareness developed during childhood often continues throughout adulthood. Teaching students about electronics recycling, resource conservation, and sustainability encourages responsible habits that benefit future generations. Businesses can also educate employees by providing information about responsible electronics disposal, both at work and at home. As awareness grows, participation naturally increases because people better understand how their individual choices contribute to protecting the environment. Knowledge empowers communities to make smarter recycling decisions every day. Recycling is important, but preventing waste in the first place is even better. Many electronic devices are discarded because of relatively minor problems, such as worn batteries, damaged screens, loose connectors, or small hardware failures that can often be repaired at reasonable cost. Communities can support repair workshops, local repair businesses, and educational events that teach residents how to maintain and repair their own electronics. When repairs are successful, products remain useful much longer while reducing the demand for manufacturing replacements. Communities can also organize donation programs where functional electronics are given to schools, charities, nonprofit organizations, or families in need instead of being discarded. These efforts support the principles of a circular economy, where products remain in use through repair, refurbishment, reuse, and finally responsible recycling when they truly reach the end of their useful lives. Every repaired or donated device delays waste generation while maximizing the value of existing technology. Strong community recycling programs require leadership from both local governments and businesses. Municipal governments can establish convenient recycling centers, organize collection events, create educational campaigns, and develop policies encouraging responsible electronics disposal. Some communities also introduce incentives that reward households and businesses for participating in recycling programs, making sustainable choices even more attractive. Businesses contribute by implementing responsible electronics recycling policies for retired computers, office equipment, servers, networking devices, and mobile technology. Many organizations also donate functional but outdated equipment to schools, nonprofit organizations, and community programs where these devices continue serving useful purposes. Business leadership demonstrates environmental responsibility while strengthening community partnerships and supporting local sustainability initiatives. When governments and businesses work together, communities gain the resources and organizational support needed to build successful long-term recycling programs. Creating sustainable communities requires participation from everyone. Residents contribute by recycling responsibly, repairing electronics whenever practical, donating usable devices, and encouraging family members to adopt environmentally responsible habits. Schools educate future generations about sustainability and responsible technology use. Businesses reduce waste through responsible asset management while supporting community recycling initiatives. Environmental organizations provide expertise, educational resources, and volunteer support for community events. Local governments coordinate programs that make responsible recycling accessible and convenient. Each participant contributes something valuable, and together these efforts produce results far greater than any single organization could accomplish alone. Every recycled computer, repaired smartphone, donated laptop, or responsibly disposed battery represents another step toward cleaner neighborhoods, healthier ecosystems, and a stronger local environment. Throughout this presentation, we've seen that solving the electronic waste challenge begins at the local level. Communities have tremendous opportunities to reduce e-waste by organizing collection events, educating residents, encouraging repair and reuse, supporting responsible business practices, and building strong partnerships with licensed recyclers. Every successful community initiative helps divert hazardous electronic waste away from landfills while recovering valuable resources that can be reused in future manufacturing. The circular economy depends on collaboration among residents, schools, businesses, nonprofits, recyclers, and government agencies. When communities work together, environmental protection becomes more practical, more accessible, and far more effective. Small local actions, repeated consistently across thousands of neighborhoods, have the power to create lasting environmental improvements on a global scale. Together, we can reduce electronic waste while creating healthier, cleaner, and more sustainable communities for generations to come. Thank you for taking the time to learn how local communities can work together to reduce electronic waste and promote responsible recycling. Every community has the ability to make a positive environmental impact. Whether you're organizing a neighborhood collection event, supporting repair and reuse initiatives, educating others about responsible disposal, or partnering with licensed recyclers, every action contributes to a cleaner and more sustainable future. When electronics eventually reach the end of their useful lives, choosing responsible recycling helps recover valuable materials, safely manage hazardous components, and protect our environment for future generations. If you'd like to learn more about environmentally responsible electronics recycling or community, by working together as communities, supporting responsible recycling, and making sustainable choices every day, we can reduce electronic waste, conserve valuable natural resources, and create a healthier planet for ourselves and future generations. Thank you for watching.